Yo guys, sorry you already know that today we are back playing some more Raging Loop. On the last time, we made it to the end, or an end, of this wit loop, where we got ourselves a key to get ourselves to the true end. However, before we do that, I actually want to go back in time to this voting here. I believe this voting was a choice between voting out the old Wolfman or voting out Rikako Uematsu. And I believe if we vote her out, we might die to poison. And so that seems like a pretty easy way to get another quick end. And then we can finish out the loop in what I assume is going to be the proper way, and then probably get more keys from there. So that's a plan, and let's just get right to it. How's that to approach this? We are going to vote for Rikako, because that is not what we did last time, which means this route is probably going to lead to a death of sorts. Doubting others was essentially my creed. That's because I believed it was more logical to trust only myself and take responsibility for the outcome over bearing the risk of trusting others. When I came back to that rule, it was trusting Rikako-san as openly as I had so far. That was the exception for me. It made more sense to doubt her. And so, I said it. I can't say I trust Rikako-san at this point in time. Take the vote. Please wait. I'll use my guardian to investigate which one of them is telling the truth today, so please wait for today. Then who are we supposed to kill, eh? Me? Kamoshida? Or Shiine? You trying to kill me, Hasan? Haruaki-san? You're kidding, right? It is alright, Haruaki-sama. No, it isn't. Hey, what's going on? What's Rikako-san trying to do? We don't need anyone to be martyrs. It is alright, just as everyone says, I'm suspicious. I'm a human, but if you hang me, you are sure to defeat the wolves. If I can no longer serve the people of Yasumizu, then my departure from the stage shall be my final service to Yasumizu. Rikako-san, Fuseishi. Tagui-san shouted louder than ever before, shutting up. If it wasn't to help that woman, you should have trusted her. Her fate was sealed the moment you failed to do that. No, by not saying that, you implied her survival wasn't necessary for the humans to achieve victory. At least you didn't believe it was. The moment you couldn't deny that was the moment your choice was made. So settle this like a man. Damn it. I've never been more resentful of my adherence to the rules than I was now. I propose we hang Rikako Uematsu-san. Very well. Rikako-san smiled. Why couldn't I just trust her? No rope shall be necessary. As a new Uematsu and the watchman of Fujiyoshi's purification and corruption, I shall bring about my own end, with no shame to display. She said it. Rikako-san led her own funeral procession. With a sonorous voice, she sung prayer to Shinai. She bowed to the Yokiba along the way as she recited prayers and sutras. No one rebuked her, for they all understood her actions were the manifestation of her faith. For she was right. Yep. And then, we reached the cliff at the Hanging Pine, overlooking the misty Serenaga. Rikako-san turned away from us, faced the cliffs, and chanted sutras. We lay ourselves down before he who dwells in the mountain. By boon of his protection are the corrupt returned to ash. The sealing of the gate to Yomi brings prosperity again. Thus I offer homage to Shinai the Almighty, so peace may come to pass. Okay, her words were directed at no one, they were merely faded into the mist. She clapped her hands, held them over her head, and bowed. It was similar to a Yasumizu bow, but felt more right than that. Rikako-san looked back. Farewell. And spoke only those words. Oni-chan! She paid no heed to the only voice that called out to her. Her black sleeves fluttered, and she threw herself into the mist. After several seconds, we heard a crunching noise from down below. Don't listen. Chambi covered Mako's ears. The little girl started to cry. You. This is all your fault. If you hadn't said that. No, that's wrong. This is all. What? Why? How did we let this happen? He left while muttering to himself. No, Sato-san. Leave him be. He's still a man. A woman's death hurts. Let's go back. Let's go back indeed. We returned to the dining hall, but all of us were caught up in depression. Yeah, this is going so fast. This is, like, so clearly a death route. There was barely anyone who wasn't feeling the loss of Tai-san, Haru-chan, or Rikako-san in any way. Oh, hey. Excluding the old man. We didn't know if we could expect all that much from him as a spider. Mako had cried herself to sleep and had been left in her place, while Kinosuke had returned to his mansion. Takumi-san and Kanzu-san were busy cleaning up Haru-chan. Aside from them, everyone else was here. Oh, I wonder, there's actually a second possibility. So we could get poisoned to death right here without Rikako to revive us. Or, what's really funny is even if they didn't kill us with poison here, Mako, I don't know how if she knows how to like write the characters to like to write the name to save me, because she was doing it with Uematsu's help. And if she doesn't have her there, then she might either forget or she might not know how to, make the characters properly. So she might not even be able to protect us, even if she wanted to, or she might not have the wherewithal to even think to protect us or keep protecting us or whatever. Because I don't remember where on the timeline this is, if she's already protected us before or not. Aside from them, everyone else was here. I make something and cheer us all up. Kaori-san said that with forced enthusiasm. Since her sons were still alive, she was probably in a relatively better mood than the rest of us. Incidentally, I'd stopped helping with the cleanups in the kitchen. They said it was because they couldn't put the snake at risk out in the mist, but they were also probably being cautious of me, so I just sat by myself. Jamie was talking to the boys, showing her own consideration for them to lift her spirits. It seemed she had no intention of talking to the old wolf guy. Haruki-sama, may we talk? The woman who always wanted to talk was gone. She sure was. Before long, Kaori-san had finished making the food. Takumi-san and Kazu-san returned from the cleanup, and we finally had our first meal of the day. I imagine you were tired. Please eat as much as you want. Thank you. The fact that I checked my bowl for something green made me realize how ill-natured I really was. Unfortunately, that was just how I was, so I'd at least keep up my mask and effectively give them conscience of my own kind. I sat down, put my hands together, picked up the chopsticks, and ate the rice roll. Like always, it was simple, beastly, yet still good. I only felt that something was wrong with it a bit later. There we go. At first, I just thought I burned my mouth or something. But suddenly, I couldn't feel my mouth at all, and after an unnatural sensation that overwhelmed my tongue and cheeks, I lost my sense of direction. My body twisted, and right as a dull pain went through my head, I fell to the floor. I'd been poisoned. I could understand that clearly, but all my processing power went into dealing with the unnatural feeling attacking my body. I couldn't see properly. I couldn't breathe or speak. Despite that, I still had a burning pain in my mouth and an urge to vomit, along with unbearable agony. I couldn't understand what was happening around me. It was probably pure chaos, but I was struggling to even breathe, and it was only getting worse. A sudden intense impact hit my back, my body jumped, and then I puked. Fuseishi, Fuseishi! My breathing stabilized for a moment, and I could hear a voice as well as see something, a wet floor, and my own hands. However, the nausea didn't end. The spasms made me feel like my chest was turning inside out, and I soon puked again. I was beyond help. I would die in just a few minutes. Once I understood and accepted that, I found myself able to think a little clearer. This was a gamble the wolves had taken. They'd killed outside of the feast. They were prepared to face the corruption. They poisoned the food. By doing so, they could get rid of me or someone else. It wasn't me, and they could frame the crime on Kaori-san, the chef. They could also destroy the fixed majority compromising of Takumi-san, Kazu-san, Kinosuke, Kaori-san, and I. By sacrificing one of the remaining wolves, they gained a big reward. I see. So the wolves were that serious. Oh, yeah. I'd been given a lethal dose of poison. There wasn't any hope for me at all, was there? How'd I get past this? Hey, Rikaku-san, this is a horrible thing to ask, but you wouldn't happen to know, would you? Just before my consciousness faded into the mist, I saw a hallucination of Rikaku-san looking down on me with a sad smile. And so that's the game's way of saying, like, hey, maybe if you didn't vote her out, maybe she would have been able to save you. But I want that sweet, sweet ending. Bad ending, number 18. I mean, I don't really need to watch the hint corner, but I will, just because it's been requested that I watch all of them. So, this is the first time in a while you've done it now for simple reasons, Chief. Huh? You don't think it's simple? Oh, I see. It's only simple if you know how the story's supposed to go. Okay, that'll give you a hint. Well, I mean, I do know how the story's supposed to go. Bad ending, 18, poisoned by wolfsbane death. Exactly how you were poisoned is an essential point of wit. Look forward to the climax. Now you might be wondering how to avoid this, but you actually can't. The solution is getting treated. How do you do that? Well, just look at the scenario chart and you should figure out where it branches. If the one who is dead here was still alive at this point, maybe things would have been different. So go back to 5, yada yada yada. So you know how it works. That's it for this time. Cool. Alright, so we got ourselves that ending. Let's go. Now we can actually go back and see something new. Potentially not a bad ending, but just an ending. So this is Uematsu talking to us through the door at night before we're going to sleep here. Heard all that, you did not curse me as filthy, talk me down. Okay, I understand how serious Sama feels now. So, we are going to open the door and persuade. Okay, so we're going to let her in. Interesting. I don't even know what we're persuading her to do, but we're going to find out. I suddenly opened the door. Yeah, I did it. Of course I would. I didn't want to see that ending again. Rikaku-san was crying. Her voice had been clear and composed, so I had assumed she wasn't feeling anything. I was wrong. She was merely hiding it. You promised not to open the door. I had intended to keep that promise, but you both used it to make me look like a bad guy, so I changed my mind. What's with this aura? Why does it feel like you're trying to be hated because of your past just to make the breakup cleaner? Is it a Fujiyoshiism or something? I've rejected tons of bothersome women like Chemi-chan in my life, so if it weren't for the situation, I'd be going nuts right now. I'm just about degenerate enough to decide someone like you is too rare to let go, so you should cut it out. Crap, I overdid it a bit. Well, I have no idea what you're thinking, but hearing all of that just made me value you more. Huh? I'd have loved to say that to Chemi-chan too, but that'd make me a cheater, so I'll do something else instead. I'll win her over with some weird-as-hell reasoning and introduce her to a friend of mine. He's a bit more degenerate than I, but I think they'll get along. Wait, maybe Teach would be better for her. If Chemi-chan doesn't mind slightly ugly baldies, she'd have someone really loyal and... Haruki-sama, I do not think I understand, but why would you tell me that you like me now of all times? Like I said, I want to play this by my own rules. I don't want someone else telling me how I should feel. Even if everyone else hates something, I'll happily take it. If you want me to hate you, find a better way to go about it. You're the one who said that you love me, so you better take responsibility for that. You dumb idiot. Rikaku-san's Maroon. Moron. Maroon. You alive? Thump. She finally broke. Whoa, what? What's that about? Are you a fool? Yeah, seriously, what's that about? That's my line. Anyway, enough with the personal grudges. Can we consider the bet still on? The one where we'd win if we survived and could ask the other for whatever we wanted. If we survive, we can ask for whatever we want, and I'm not planning on asking for anything that would ruin it. You are such a strange person. Service Abasama was surely right to call you a bad boy. I didn't confirm nor deny that. Even so, hearing that from you makes me happy enough. I'm satisfied. Not good enough? Well, maybe. Adult love wasn't solid enough to play out through just jokes and improvisation. Then again, we also could survive without needing anything fancy. It was a virtue as well as a vice. Please give me your answer when you survive tomorrow. You might be killed by the wolves tonight. You took a gamble and revealed yourself to protect Mako and I. If you don't wake up tomorrow, it would mean that I wasn't worthy of asking you something like this. I'll back off if that happens. Haraki-sama. There, I was now at a key point. This tragedy drunk heroine wouldn't die today. It would be the most unfortunate, Kaori-san. Honestly, I wasn't sure how to feel about that, but I would test it this once. At the very least, can you grant me one final gift? No, I will survive the night with that as my goal in life. It might be imprudent of me, but it makes me happy. I was the imprudent one here. After all, I was making moves on a girl that could die tonight. Anyway, goodbye. Wait. Anything else? I can finally get to the main matter at hand. There's something I'd like to ask you as a night watcher. Ooh. Oh, okay. Well, that just ends. That's where it ended? It was the day after I did the prep work. Oh, I wonder if we're gonna get to get sort of like a flashback to get whatever that was that chat was about. I approached the plaza, met up with Yoshitsugu-kun, acted surprised when I heard the bad news, and once again saw the remains of poor unfortunate Kaori-san. I then listened to the brothers opening up, saw them find the letter, and noticed that the fingers were placed in the same position as the last time. Everything's the same. This is just another example of the game not wasting my time. They know I've already seen this, they can just kind of yada yada through it, which I love. This had to be Chimi's idea. In this particular timeline, she didn't seem to be anything more than a bloodthirsty madwoman. I felt like she'd been the one who decided that destroying the entire body was the way to go, and Mochi didn't hesitate to agree. I'd badly underestimated just how warped that boy's personality was. Poor Mamiya-san. I knew she was an enemy, but I couldn't help but feel sympathy for her. Alright, thus began the Feast of the Yomi Purge. Here we go, we're already back. Love it. Yasunan-kun presented the scenario set up by the wolves. I turned it around. Everything was about the same as last time. If I didn't change my words, things would go exactly the same as last time. Of course they would. The people I was talking to were the exact same. Strangely enough, I also said the exact same things without relying much on memories from last time. Or maybe it wasn't that strange. After all, though I had memories of the previous loop, I was the exact same person. If I somehow lost the memories of the final moments of the loop, I'd definitely be heading for the same ending right now. But in this case, it didn't matter if everything was the same this time. I could just go with the flow and do the same thing as last time. After all, it was already over. That's what they were betting on, I assume. Unfortunately for them, it didn't work. Just like last time everyone focused on Chikamochi, who had a half smile on his face. That seems really one-sided. I mean, we have no proof that Hasan and Richan are what they claim to be. And just like last time, he was bringing up arguments that had already been shot down. And maybe you could actually read Mami Kaori's fingers some other way? Mochi. And just like last time, Chiemi? That's enough. It's getting cringeworthy. Then, yeah. Okay. So this still all happens. Let's kill them all. They went and did it. Okay, so this doesn't change. They drew the guns from their sleeves. I've been wondering why Mochi was in a school uniform this time, and this made me realize it was to hide the gun. The barrels and grips on them both were cut really short, probably for the same purpose. One of them was aimed in our direction, while the other was aimed at Kanzo-san, who was already charging at them. Their intense change paralyzed everyone except him and Takumi-san, who would now make a move and die to the shotgun blast. However, that didn't happen this time. The guns didn't fire anything. A moment after Chimi's expression of warp was shot, Kanzo-san punched Mochi. Wait, so what changed? Unless it had something to do with our conversation with Uematsu last night. While Takumi-san tackled Chimi. Her lightweight body was thrown backwards and hit the wall. Takumi-san quickly grabbed the shotgun, aimed it at the floor, and pulled the trigger to ignite the shell in the other chamber. Once again, the gun didn't fire. He frowned and opened it up, removed the cartridges, and threw them away along with the gun. Kanzo-san handled his situation a different way. He simply pointed Mochi's gun back at his former master. So you're a wolf. His face swollen due to the punch, he was crouching down and glaring at Kanzo-san. Bring the rope. Cough, cough, shit. Let me go. Why? Damn it. Takumi-san took advantage of her staggering and pushed her down. She couldn't move at all. Things became a bit disorderly as we tied them up, but now it's relatively calm in here. What the hell was that about? Those words weren't directed at anyone, but everyone besides me related to him. These are dummies. Kanzo-san said that while looking at the shells from the shotgun he'd taken from Mochi. Everyone understood what that meant. You got the wrong ones? No way! Exactly, there was no way the cartridges she checked just yesterday were switched up in a single evening. The only one with any idea what was responsible for this paranormal phenomenon was Rikaku-san. Last night, I'd asked her to catch Chiemi and have a catfight with her. That gave me the time I needed to go into Chiemi's room and mess with her equipment. Oh, so that's what happened. A lot of it depended on luck, and I needed a couple loops, but I somehow pulled it off. It wasn't fair in the least, but my life was at risk here, and I actually died, so I didn't really care. Everyone continued to talk about how the shells were replaced, but since I decided to stay quiet, they didn't reach a conclusion. Now everyone was left with the harsh truth that these two were wolves who just tried to kill everyone here. Thus, everyone began talking about how to handle them. I mean, this seems like it's going to end pretty successfully, so something's got to go wrong here, or I'm not entirely sure. Yasunagi-kun suggested we tie them up and lock them in somewhere. He argued that now that we knew they were the wolves, all we had to do to prevent any further murders was make them unable to move. Kanzo-san was thoroughly against that, suggesting that we instead hang them over today and tomorrow. When asked for his reasoning, he insisted that wolves had to be hanged and their argument wasn't going anywhere. Most of Kanzo-san's decisions were influenced by the legend and his own experience, so he didn't have a proper way to deal with the situation this unorthodox. Yasunagi-kun, on the other hand, was bound by conscience and emotions, making Kanzo-san's option unacceptable for him. That left me no choice but to weigh in. May I say something? Now everyone, even Kanzo-san, lend an ear to my words. It took too long for me to get to this point. Makishima-san, you believe it's important to kill only one per day and not anymore, right? While Yasunagi-kun just doesn't want to kill them at all. Yes, I admit it. Now that the culprits are no longer a supernatural phenomenon, I believe we should leave their judgment to the rule of law. What they did is unforgivable, but we shouldn't be the ones to punish them. We only did the previous hangings because it was an emergency and we had no other choice. I don't understand this line of reasoning at all. Since they aren't a threat to us when bound, we can just leave them like that and wait for the mist to clear. But I don't think the mist is going to clear if the feast doesn't properly end. And if it doesn't, we'll be left with no choice but to consider it another emergency that requires drastic measures. The boy was talking sense, but first I'm not so sure if binding them would be effective. What do you mean? The game master here, Great Lord Shinai, can unlock our front doors. Isn't it natural to think he can undo any bindings too? That's... Also, if we only hang one each day, one human would die tonight. They have no chance of winning, but they'd take this kill. No, he wouldn't. Yeah, it's pointless. They were so easy to read. Yasunagi-kun, do you want to know why I'm so certain that they would kill? Yes, do tell. It's because these wolves are extremely cruel. I walked up to them. Remember Hisako Mamiya-san? She suddenly claimed to be the snake on the second day and began acting all strange. She was probably ordered to do it by Chiemi Serizawa. There was some noise in the room. Chiemi was still hanging her head. She probably told Mamiya-san that being a snake was safe, even though she knew that Kanzo-san was ready to hang anyone claiming to be the snake. It actually led to Tai-san, an innocent, getting hanged. You planned that, didn't you? Does it matter? Mamiya-san then died that night, and that was probably her doing too. Why would you think that? Because she's an outsider. She couldn't trust her, and it was possible that she'd readily betray her. It was highly likely that she would have been hanged the next day. Kanzo-san was pushing for it, after all. These two tricked Mamiya-san into being a scapegoat, so she probably didn't trust them and was afraid of them. It was completely possible that she'd reveal who the other wolves were during her hanging. That's why you killed her at night. You basically silenced her. But that would mean they killed two in one night. No, she was subjected to the corruption. The wolves must have rules too, and she went against them. Or rather, was made to go against them by these two. You're just guessing. Whatever. Please deny it, damn it. It's a pain, so I'll just say it. Yeah, he's completely right. Wow, Haruhi-san, you're so cool. And Yasukun's even more soft-brained than I thought. She and A. We had our reasons for doing what we did, and we had to keep doing it until the end. So stop with these questions, they're a pain. Chiemi, you damn... Please stop. I understand how you feel, but that'd be a waste of time. You can't reach an understanding with those who became wolves. So what are we doing with them? My suggestion is that we cut off one's limbs and hang the other one. Oh my gosh. So, alright, so the wolves have rules to abide by, and somehow they were able to get Mamiya to break one. But I don't know if we're going to find out exactly what that rule is, unless we can get to a time loop where we're actually a wolf, which I still don't know if that's going to exist, but I do think that it would help answer some questions about the wolves if we were to become one. But I don't know if that's going to happen or not. If we do that, the one without limbs won't be able to go around, even if unbound, so we'd probably be safe. And if we hang the one tomorrow, the wolves would be exterminated. The mist should clear by the day after, and Fuseishi, yes? What did you just say? I'm saying we should keep one from walking around and using weapons by cutting off their limbs. Huh? What the hell was with their reaction? Is there a problem with that? You seriously say we should cut off Chikamochi or Jimmy's limbs? Huh? Yes, wouldn't that be enough? If we remove them at the base, they could even crawl, right? You really are a fucking lunatic. Yeah, also, wouldn't they, like, die? I was like, I get that in concept, but, like, they would lose so much blood. It's not like you can properly do that medically here. Huh? That's way too cruel. Huh? I understand they are wolves, but that is a step too far. What? Fusaki-san, you're scary. Why? Fusaki-san, would cutting off their limbs make us targets of the corruption? I have not heard of anything that implies that. Excuse me, but aren't you the ones who hanged a couple of people just because of history and legends? But we put them to rest. I've heard that hanging is actually a really painful way to go. Even if it wasn't, they were being lynched because of a popular vote. That alone must have been utterly terrifying. The wolves murdered so cruelly, yet you're all acting like this. You're all pretty good-natured, aren't you? Wait, that's a good thing, isn't it? Humane? Oh, I see. They all fell silent. But even I could understand there was something within them that made them averse to my idea. Can we break their limbs instead? The effect would be the same, right? Or perhaps Sensato Sensei could poison them in a way that would make them die right about tomorrow? Stop it, I can't ensure that they would survive that. The shock from the pain alone might kill them. And I happen to be a doctor, I cannot poison. We're not like the wolves. I see, I understand. I seem to have misunderstood you all. What now, though? I guess someone's dying today. This was such a pain. Why did they argue against my suggestion if they had none of their own? If it must be done, I should take it upon myself. No, I'll do it. Don't push yourselves. We mustn't do that. Stop, you all. We can still think this through. It's fine, that's enough. I'll die myself. Can you hang Mochi first? No one should get the corruption then. Wow, clear head until the end, huh? Huh? What are you planning now? I don't want to get my limbs cut off. Even wolves are afraid of some things, huh? Alright, I'll apologize to Haruchan when I get to her. You're not going to the same place as her. Huh, I'm not? Richan? The hanged are saved. The ones killed by wolves are not. Want to switch? I don't care enough. It's fine. Regardless of the way, it'll be over once you die. So I'll take it upon myself to kill you. Why does this have to happen? Just because? What's that supposed to mean? I don't really get it. But I feel like we had no choice. Yasunagi Oribe punched Chikamochi Kamoshida. Sorry, Yasun. I really am. Sorry. Rise not. Haha. Yasunagi-kun pushed him forward. A moment later, the rope went taut. It shook for a moment, then slowly swayed back and forth, and finally stopped completely. Yasunagi-kun cut the rope. From the mist below, I heard the sound of something soft collapsing, then hitting the shallow water below. You're next, Jimmy. Alrighty. Isn't this the same as directly killing her? Who knows? Shinai-san's or whatever will be the judge of that, right? You're gonna dodge just like that without even saying sorry or anything? Yeah, that's the kind of girl I am, right? You knew that from the time I almost killed the brass and Kung Fujiyoshi, didn't you? Ooh, whoa, hold on, this is something. Well, I went on to act like a good girl after that. Fooled you good, didn't I? How's it feel? I know what kind of guy Mochi was and kind of used to control him. Don't get mad at him, okay? It's not my fault. Hate me all you want. Looking backwards, she stepped up to the cliff. Congrats for Kaku-san. The obstacle's out of the way, and it looks like it'll all work out, doesn't it? That is not what the Feast of the Obi Purge is about. We who live with the mountain have been given a burden, and we must bear and pay respects to it for all eternity. I'm here to simply take in that burden. Then, if I'm born again, I'll come kill you directly this time. You're the last of the spiders, aren't you? Go have some descendants, teach them whatever grand nonsense they taught you, and wait for me to come get you. There's no need to be like that. Shut up, I'll kill you now! Joking, see ya! Jimmy. What? What is God? Her pupils instantly shrunk. I knew it. You really are the scariest thing here, Haruaki-san. Ah ha ha! Ah ha 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 ha! I'm so glad. Thank you all so much for letting me kill myself. She took 3 steps back. You have no idea how scared I was when I thought my limbs were going to get cut off. Seriously. Haruaki-san, if only we were wolves together. I don't want that. Ah ha ha. Oh my gosh! Alright, we'll give her 1. We will give her 1. It's been a while since we've let somebody go crazy with their voice. So let's go ahead and give her this one. Oh, let's go to the log. Alright, here you go. Perfect. Alright, that is enough out of you. I hope you enjoyed your time being creepy. Because no more. See ya. She turned around and ran. As fast as possible. Into the mist. Yep, she did not actually kill herself there. Oh, and jumped. No, just kidding, she did. Okay. Rise not. I'm going. I alone turned around. Huh? But you still haven't... I didn't want to hear it. She'd probably fallen into a world different from ours, and I got the impression I wouldn't hear a sound. I didn't want to listen to the echoing silence. So now what happens? We then went on to clean up Kaori-san's body. After spacing out of it, we all cut up some veggies and ate them uncooked. It was hard to make a fire in the mist, and as people of Fujiyoshi, no one felt like using fires other than the one in the watering hole, and everyone was averse to using the dining hall. Thus, everyone went to sleep. What about the old man that's the badger? Is he going to cause problems or no? No. For the first time since the feast began, none of us could sleep. Morning came without us getting any rest. Are the mists gone? The mists are gone, and the mist was gone! We did it! We beat the game! No one had died, of course. Everything was as the legend said. So we can just, like, leave, right? With the Yomotsu Kami gone, peace came back to the human village. However, it was hard to celebrate it. Yudai Hashimoto, Tai Yamawaki, Hisako Mamiya, Haru Makishima, the old man who cried wolf, Kaori Oribe, Chikamochi Kamoshida, and Chiemi Serizawa. A whole 8 people died. Even if 2 of them were outsiders, the settlement had suffered great losses. Everyone had an aversion to using fire to dispose of any remaining objects that carried signs of murder. So it was decided that they would be buried. The tatami, the floorboards, the futon, all of it. We also ended up making new gravestones for those who we had lost. Rikaku-sen had told us that the graveyard near the Hanging Pine was full of the feast victims, so there was nothing under the stones. So, has he passed away or something? Yes, it was a peaceful death. Those who died normally would be burned at the crematorium in Kamufujiyoshi, run by the Higuchi, then buried here. Those who didn't would be thrown into Serenaga and simply vanish. Making sure no one saw me, I went down to Serenaga. There was nothing. No corpses or belongings. Just like last time, Serenaga was just a thin shell stream. However, I did find one thing. It was a pendant with the Yomotsu Kami symbol on it. What was this? Was someone wearing it? What did it mean for someone in Fujiyoshi to wear something like this? At this point, I didn't feel like investigating it anymore. Was that strange? No. I felt like that was just how things were. Days passed of us working on this and that. We somehow survived thanks to the food from the fields, and right as we were finishing up our work, help finally arrived. Kamufujiyoshi sent some people to remove the landslide blocking the road, and now they finally made it. Are you all well? It's been a while since I saw Shoji Higuchi. He looked as friendly as always. Shoji, what took you so long? We wanted to work faster, but we had some unexplainable accidents while trying. We were only able to make progress after the mist cleared. So is everyone alright? No one answered. Higuchi began looking sympathetic and started giving some orders to his people. So he's definitely had this happen before. Eventually we were brought to Kamufujiyoshi, and we were made to spend a few days like refugees in some community center. Apparently this was temporary. The village head said they needed time to clean up Yasumizu after the disaster. I really appreciated the 3 daily meals they gave us from the nearby watering hole, and sleeping in a place without any mist at all was pleasant. The food was strangely fancy, and the people bringing it seemed somewhat humble. They always looked down on the people of Yasumizu, but now that we'd stopped the Yomi invasion, they actually revered us. That was just a guess though, and I was still locked up in here with nothing to do. One day I actually got to see the officer. It actually felt kind of nostalgic at this point. Oh, you're alive, that's great. This is yours, right? It's no use to us, so take it back already. My bike. The weeks of exposure to the elements had left it looking really shabby. I had nothing better to do, so I decided to clean it. We're almost done restoring Yasumizu, so you'll be able to return soon. Fusashi-san, why not drive far away for a change of pace? I actually wanted to return to Yasumizu, though. Really? When I told Takumi-san that I'd take Maker to the police once everything was settled and then return, he told me that I didn't have to. Rikaku-san said she'd help him work on the fields, and he'd accepted it. Kanzo-san fixed his rifle and began hunting again. Yasunagi-kun resumed going to school. Yoshitsugu-kun moved to the dorm and said he'd start going to school again too, joining his brother. Kinosuke would, as planned, become a part-time doctor at Kamufuji-yoshi's clinic. When Kanzo-san returned from our shelter, Kinosuke actually looked after him like a proper doctor, which was some impressive character development. Anyway, since it all seemed to be fine here, Takumi-san told me that I didn't have to return. Well, I can't say I don't have stuff for you to do, but you have a place to return to, right? I really wouldn't blame you if you didn't come back. But keep in mind that you have a woman waiting for you here. And honestly, I'm not sure I want to do nothing but farm with her. I'll be right back after I'm done with some business. I did consider returning to the life I had, but I figured I should stay here instead. Well, I guess I'll see you then. Your turn. Hello? She was hiding behind that tree. With her pale skin turning rosy, she immediately walked up to me. Mako, stay in good health. Hey, what about me? Aren't you supposed to talk to Fusayuki-san? Even she understood it. How precocious of her. Haruki-sama, please stay in good health. I'd assumed that the fact she wasn't treating this like our final meeting was a step forward, but no, I wouldn't let it fly. I hadn't survived just to say goodbye to you. Those words aren't enough for me. Please come visit every now and then. Shishiro was persistent. You're being a sore loser right now, Rikaku-san. We're close enough to call each other by name. If you take just one more step forward, I might decide to do something big. There were a lot of things I wanted to give to her and take from her. I was sure I'd find happiness if we made proper exchanges. After all, that was the sole light I'd ever seen in that dreadful mist. I wouldn't give up on it no matter what. Haruaki-sama. Yes? Because I would be lonely. Yes, you've been lonely your whole life. Because I love you. Yes, you weren't even allowed to love anyone. And because this is all new to me. Yes, for the first time ever, you sought your own happiness. Please come back to me. I couldn't control myself. Whoa, showing off, huh? Kissy! I let her go and she looked up at me with angry eyes. She'd become a lot more expressive and I found it nothing if not lovable. I would live out the rest of my life with her. This journey brought me to something unexpected and led to a really happy ending. I promise. Once I deal with everything outside, I'll come back here. Please do. Then it'll be my turn to say something. I understand. I shall believe and wait for you. So, in order for us to time loop again, don't we have to die somewhere in the story? Because how are we... Are we gonna die of old age here? Like, I don't know. Pardon the Higuchi's help, I got everything I needed. Secured Mako behind me with the children's belt and left Fujiyoshi. Upon arriving at the closest city, I presented her as a lost child. They asked me questions, of course. I admitted some things, but didn't lie at all. They thought I seemed shady, but I was able to prove my identity, and they let me off. Bye-bye, Fusuyuki-san. She waved, all smiles. She still couldn't get my name right. This reminded me that nothing that had happened in Yasumizu had drawn police attention. I had no idea who done or didn't do... What? I had no idea who done or didn't do what to make it turn out like this. Is that even a real sentence? But I didn't care anymore. Who had done or didn't do what... Wait, who did what or who didn't do what to make it turn out like that? I guess it kind of makes sense. Yeah, I didn't care. It was just the way it was. What was up with that looping business anyway? Was killing the wolves a condition for any of the loop? If that was the case, then it was caused by something that wanted the wolves to lose no matter what. No other explanation fit. Who would that be, though? Great Lord Shinai? That fit the story, but it often seemed like he didn't have a horse in this race. Also, if his only way to help the humans was to give out the guardians and send me, then he was a seriously bothersome god. Would I go back in time if I died now? I didn't even care to try, not to mention that situations in which you could easily die were the abnormal ones. Also, I'd actually left the village this time. That made the current situation different than any so far, and it was best to assume I wouldn't loop again. That was probably just the way it was. See, the problem with that is if if the entire point was to just hang the wolves and then win that way, like, the feast has happened before, and I assume has ended that way before, so what makes this one, like, special, or different in any way? So, who knows. I stayed in that city for a while, and contacted certain people, telling them that I would now be a farmer in a remote village. That got me in some serious trouble. Yasumizu got no service anyway, so it wasn't like they could do anything about it. I cut ties with my previous life in 3 days, then entered a jeweler's store and bought the ring with the nicest design. It had a gem as red as her eyes, covered in gems as clear as her hair. It wasn't particularly expensive, but I felt it suited her better than any of the others. Then, just as I promised, I returned to Fujiyoshi. I went to the officer, talked to Higuchi-san, passed the mountain path, arrived at Yasumizu, and saw something I couldn't believe. Oh no. Why? Why? Oh no. Why was everyone dead? Everyone's dead. Yo, okay. Why was Yasunaga Oribe dead? He survived after saying goodbye to his best friend, and the girl was like a sister to him, hadn't he? Why was Yoshitsugu Oribe dead? He made it through his mother's death, found common ground with his brother, and had his whole life ahead of him, didn't he? Why was Kanzo Makishima dead? He'd lost his granddaughter, protected Yasumizu, and was about to live out his twilight years in peace, wasn't he? Okay, I knew something bad had to happen. Why was Takumi Muro dead? The likable guy had discarded his inner discord, believed in himself, and helped bring us to victory, hadn't he? Why were all their heads split open? It was supposed to be over. We'd ended it all. That was how it was supposed to be, right? I begged. Hoped that someone was still alive. If no one was, what would have been the point of those sacrifices? Ha ha ha! Found one. A survivor. He was covered in blood, and held an axe covered in blood and gray matter. Ha 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 ha! The wolves are coming! Ha ha ha! What? I then went on to murder him. After all, on one of the support beams, in the hall I found him in, was her body hanging helplessly. What? What the hell? What was all this? Why had I thought that I had it all in the bag? Everything was dead. Everything was lost. And I hadn't reached an end yet. What the heck? Shinai-sama's guardians are. The outside was shrouded in mist. 1 snake, 2 monkey, 3 crow, 4 spider. As though led by something. 5, prepare for the feast with evening mist arrive. I passed the empty plaza. 6, the badger runs along late with the near as a fix. Went down the barren hill. 7. The corrupt Yomibito rise to oppose the mountain. Did you come to see me? I'm so happy. What? Hey, death of the damn Yomibito is the mandate. Did you believe you could escape? Fall, rise, rise again and again. 9. 1 soul per day, now to bind. 10. The mist rise away again. As I threw myself into Saranaga's mist. No, Haruki-sama. What? But she was dead. I felt like I could hear her voice. Rikaka-san, I couldn't fulfill my promise. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Please don't cry for me. I couldn't make you happy. I couldn't do anything to help you feel normal happiness. I couldn't dispel the darkness of Fujiyoshi. And I couldn't even get close to the core of the mystery surrounding it. How? What could I have done here? I needed a new path. I had to find one that could lead me to the truth. Wow. So we got an ending. We have an ending. This is not a bad ending because we're getting credits and all that. So, whoa. I can't even begin to guess, like, what happened. There's something that clearly just wants everybody here dead. And, like, the mists were coming back. Why does everybody's... I don't know why everybody died there. That's crazy. Everybody was dead. We didn't just go crazy, did we? Okay, well, we've reached an ending. Whoa, what is that? Okay. I need some keys. 16. Raising loop. Okay. Okay, so 16. Do we get ourselves a little hint corner? Ending number 2? Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Where does 16 go? Alright, before we watch the hint corner, let's see what we can do for ourselves. So, key 16 is Raising Loop. By determining the wolves and preventing the fatal rampage, the humans safely achieved victory, the mist cleared, and the feast ended. All that was left was for me to propose to the woman who loved me, or so I thought. Everything returned to ash, Yasumizu was engulfed in mist again, and it seems I looped. The basic problem remains unsolved, I must solve all the mysteries, but how? I don't remember where 16 is. Is it... Okay, there's still a branching path from going off of 4. Choose route, no. Pass by, no. That's not it. There's entering the village. 5 and 6. We got everything here. Yeah. Those are still locked. Here. Oh, 16 is the one to decide arrangements. Okay, so that's where we're going to go next. Whoo, baby. Okay. But we'll go ahead and watch the hint corner. Oh, man. Hey, Chief, and congratulations, I guess. This marks the end of the main route. Wit. So many ups and downs, but in the end, all the wolves were wiped out. Isn't that great? What's that? Too depressing? Yeah, I figured, but what can you do? There were still plenty of mysteries left even after you won the feast. So with that said, it's time for a fresh start. Prepare yourself for the next one. Ending 2, a wedding celebrated by all. This was yet another outcome you were bound to see. Be proud of yourself, Chief. As for where you see key 16, it's actually not so obvious. Go to 4 infiltration queue, decide arrangements, yeah. You know, the locked choice when you were talking about where the 2 journalists would sleep. Through that, Hisaku Mamiya and Haruaki Fusashi participated in the feast, changing things greatly. Aim for that next time, too. I wonder if, because this is going to be a new loop, and this is before the first night, the Guardians are probably going to be different this time, which means that the wolves are going to be different this time. In the next true route, Darkness, that old cameraman who's died at the start every time so far will finally join the feast. How will that change things? So Darkness, that is scary. We had, what? We had Investigation. Wait, what are the main ones? So we had Wit. This is just called Yomi? I guess we just have, this one's just called Yomi. And then, yeah, that's the end here, right? Yeah, I guess so. And then we have Wit. Interesting. And then we're going to Darkness. Alright, though you might be getting a rather ominous feeling about the next route from the name Darkness. Don't lose, Chief. Oh boy. Alright, we're done this time. Okay. Man, I really hope that the next one, we go there, and I hope that we become a wolf. I really think that's just going to start answering a lot of questions. But maybe not. Oh, man. I don't even know what's about to happen, but I'm so excited to find out. So hopefully you are enjoying and looking forward to that. If so, let me know, but I'm going to get out of here until the next time. Peace out.